So this year has been a pretty successful year. I feel like we've grown the most we've ever grown. What are you laughing about?
I
don't know. God, I swear. Every time I did
That's
this,
why I walked away so I could laugh without messing you up. I'm
now
sorry.
I've chopped my onion and I can't unchop it and start over again.
You can dice it up.
Okay. Let me go ahead and finish chopping
Okay.
it. Maybe it'll just work better if I dice because then I don't have to concentrate so hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying not to cut off your finger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So today is a very special day for us. It's one that we celebrate every year, but this year it almost slipped by us and we almost forgot to celebrate it. Today is our 6th year anniversary of being here. And ever since we've moved here, we've always made it a tradition to sit down and celebrate this day. On this day, 6 years ago, we moved from Texas to here. It was one of those moves that we had been wanting to make for a very, very, very long time. And it all came together really quickly. And it was like one of the most difficult and intense moves we had ever made because we had to move our house and our shed, and we had a new septic system put in. The day that we found out that we were going to move was October 1st. And I'll never forget that day as long as I live. I mean, we were so excited. We wanted to hurry up and try to get moved before Thanksgiving because we didn't want to be in limbo for the holidays. We didn't know if we were going to make it or not, but we decided we would try as hard as we could, and we did it. If you'd like to read about the story of our move, I will post it right up here, and you can check it out. So the day that we actually moved was so amazing. I remember we were in Texas, and Dylan and I hung around there in Texas waiting for them to get our house prepped and get it on the road. And once they did that, we actually drove up here, and we got here after dark. And we had sat around down there all day, and we were cold, and we were hungry. And so once we arrived here, I remember my mom and Brooke and Miley, they all came running out when we got here to greet us. And everybody was just jumping up and down, and we were hugging, and we were so excited. And then we went into my mom's, and she had fixed chili for supper. And so she'd asked us if we'd had anything to eat, and we hadn't. We'd only eaten breakfast that morning, so we were super hungry. And so she warmed up the chili, and so we sat down, and as we ate, we talked about our move and what all had happened in the days before, because we'd actually brought Miley and Brooke down here a few days before that. And so we caught everybody up on what had happened and everything. And I remember sitting there eating the chili, and it tasted so good. It was so warm. And I was just like, we could finally relax. It was just amazing. And so then the following year, we were talking about it and everything. And we decided that every year after that, we would always fix a bowl of chili to celebrate our move here. And so that's what I'm going to do tonight. But as I said before, the date kind of snuck up on us, and I really haven't had time to prepare anything or anything. So I ran to town really quick, and I got chili supplies, and I've invited my mom, and I've invited Dylan, and everybody's going to come over and eat some chili tonight. Looking back over all of the years that we've been here, I think that this year has probably been one of the most successful years we've had so far. Throughout the years, we've had some ups and downs, but for the most part, I think that we have done really well. It's been a great learning experience. Homesteading's been a lot harder than what I thought it would be. I feel like we've still got a lot to learn, but you know, I feel that homesteading is kind of like a journey, and I don't think that the learning ever stops. I think that as long as we're homesteading, there'll always be something that we're learning and improving on all the time. This year, I am very happy with all that we accomplished. So this year we have grown a lot of our own food. Let's see, we've grown milk and eggs, and we've grown chickens for meat. And we've grown turkeys for meat. Now normally in the past years, or basically every year, it's been our tradition to grow a turkey for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But unfortunately this year we aren't going to have that because last year we got turkeys so that way we could grow them up and let them reproduce, and actually we could actually hatch out and raise our own turkeys. And we did all that this year, but we had problems in the early spring and we didn't get them hatched out until late. And so because of that, the ones that we hatched out, which are Lucky and Chance, they are too small for this year's Christmas and Thanksgiving. So they're going to be next year's Christmas and Thanksgiving. But we did actually process one turkey, and we actually cut him up and do have him in the freezer. We grew our own pork. Then we're also trying a couple of new things this year. We've added in meat rabbits, and so those will be next year's meat if the kids will allow us to process them. And of course, our other new addition is Ollie, and we are planning to process him basically probably a year from now.
Maybe.
Maybe if the kids will allow us to. But, I mean, we're probably just going to have to do it anyway because we put a lot of time, money, and effort into that. And we've really, really, really wanted to raise our own beef for a very long time now. And we've finally gotten the chance. So,
He can still work out to be a pet.
be an awfully expensive pet. And that brings us to the garden. This year's garden I don't feel has been quite as successful as past year's gardens have been. And there's a couple reasons for that. The first reason is that I don't feel like I took enough time with it. I kind of slacked off in caring for it because we had so many other things going on. And there was just various other things that happened throughout the season that kind of took up time. And so I didn't always dedicate enough time to it, and it kind of suffered because of that. And then the other thing is we had that big storm come in and it wiped out pretty much the whole thing. And it kind of had to start all over again. And then by the time it did do good, it was too late and it got froze. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot, we also grew our own alfalfa again this year. We did only get one cutting off of it, and in past years we've gotten more, but this year the quality of it was so much better. As far as the cuttings and all that, that's pretty much dependent on the weather, and we had really hot, dry weather this year, so that's pretty much why we didn't get more cuttings than we did. So now on to what I want to do differently for next year. And that is try to come up with a way to better manage my time. I want to kind of like downsize in certain areas and put more emphasis on other areas. Like for example, I want to put more emphasis on the garden for next year and try to get a lot more stuff canned. But again, I know that varies from year to year and weather conditions and stuff like that too. And also probably just try to focus in more on our setup and trying to just do things in a more efficient manner. I still need to ponder and think about that through the winter, but I'll do that and then come up with a new plan of action next spring.